She says sports, everybody. This Shedeur girl checking back in. Okay. I put together at the same time. I moved it down, not gonna lie. Hold on, hold on 1 second. Lost my remote. One second. Okay. All right. We had an excellent show, y'all. Thank y'all. If y'all were on the last podcast, thank you so much. It was good, it was informative, and it was great to talk about. Even the conversation, I think, is relative. I think it was great to kind of step into that arena. So thank y'all so much if y'all hung out with us. All right. So let's get into tonight's show. All right. First and foremost, there was a conversation on Nightcap, which ensued in what appeared to be an argument between Shannon and Ocho about Lamar Jackson. Now, the caption of this podcast is Shedeur Sanders, Lamar Jackson. It's about respect, right? Now, let me give you some context. Last season, we had this conversation before the season started. When Shedeur was a rookie getting ready for rookie minicamp, there was a conversation about Lamar Jackson and if he should skip, should he show up for the involuntary period? So, you have rookie minicamp, you have OTAs that are voluntary, and then you have mandatory camp. So we were familiar with Shedeur going to rookie minicamp. Remember the second session where Joe Flacco came in at? That's the voluntary part. And then the mandatory part is when Jerry Jeudy and them came in. So the conversation last year was whether or not Lamar should come in for regular OTAs, the first session, that he's not required to. That's for people who is voluntary. If you want to just come in early, you can. And I said, well, that's not fair because, this is his off period. Why should Lamar have to show up if it's not mandatory? And that was the question last year. So the question has resurfaced. So there's new people working over there in Baltimore, and they have a new offensive coordinator. And apparently, the new offensive coordinator went back to that same topic and made a statement about Lamar, or that's what the argument is about. Was he talking to Lamar? So we're gonna listen to this and we're gonna react to it. And I want to get to Emmitt Smith and how he stood up for Shedeur. When I say it's about respect, that's the part of it as well, because we talked about Emmitt Smith, but I never had a chance to watch it. And I think I saved the conversation. So I wanted to look at that. And then I want to get into what happened with the player for the Detroit Lions. Apparently there was some kind of robbery and it was some confusion as to who was doing the theft. So we'll talk about that as well. And shout out to Angel Reese, who returned to Unrivaled Basketball tonight. Angel Reese is over there balling out. And it's reported that, and I don't know how true it is, but it's reported that she trained with Hakeem Olajuwon to learn the dream shape. And she over there looking really good. And it is true that Olajuwon has trained some NBA players. So I don't know if the story is true or not, but apparently the way she's balling out on the court, people believe that it's true that it's been discussed that she trained with him in the offseason. So let me know if y'all know anything about that as well. And shout out to Angel Reese if he gets trained with Olajuwon. Y'all know he used to play for the Rockets. And I don't know how long it's been since he's played, but I will say this, he is a legend. I do know that much. All right, so let's get into the first clip that we have for tonight. Could be the only clip if I don't get my hands on that Emmitt Smith one that I think I saved. And let's take a listen to this conversation. So I gave you some context. Let's just take a listen and we're going to come back and we're going to talk about it. All right. This is Nightcap with Shannon Sharp, Joe Johnson, and Chad Ochocinco. And the conversation is about Lamar Jackson and his OC.
Clan Doyle emphasized the importance of off-season workout. He didn't single out any player, but probably didn't need to. We would expect players to be here, and certainly it is voluntary, but if you want to say that you're going to win a championship, you want to say that you have championship standards, those are the goals, those are the expectations. Certainly, that's going to take work. That's going to take collaboration, and that's going to take the beginning of building of a relationship with their coaches and other players, starting the next regime on the right foot. Ocho?
All right, before we get into Ocho, The offensive coordinator basically was saying, if you want to win a championship, even though it's voluntary OTAs, you want to maybe come in because you can't say you want to win a championship if you don't do the extra work. I don't agree with that, but we'll get back to what I think in a minute. Let's listen to Ocho. I want to hear your opinion in the comments. Please type in how you feel about the brand new offensive coordinator talking about the new regime and getting off on the right foot, even though OTAs is voluntary. That you should still come in if you want to win a championship. I mean, I would think that they wanted to win championships all up until this time, and it still was voluntary OTAs. Let me know your thoughts. And they talking about who this conversation was directed to. So take a listen.
You know who you're talking to.
I think he's talking to everybody. Because I think the conversation with what's his own name that looked like he part of the mob?
Bisciotti.
Yeah, Bisciotti and Lamar had already had that conversation about him being there in the offseason and taking part in the offseason program. So we already know he's gonna show up. Now I think he wants to make sure everyone else is on board.
Stop that. You know he's not talking to but one person. Everybody else goes, which guy hasn't been there 7 of the last off seasons? Last 7 of the late off seasons, which guy hadn't shown up?
Time out. We talk about the D coordinator.
No, we talk about the offensive coordinator.
Right.
The offensive coordinator ain't calling out motherfucking Lamar Jackson. I can tell you that.
Okay.
I guarantee you that.
No, he didn't call.
The new offensive coordinator is not calling out the
Yes,
team franchise leader.
Yes, he is.
After you already had a conversation with the owner. The same one who is up for contract extension. He's not calling him out.
Which guy?
You don't want to
just answer
Let me finish. Let me finish. You are not going to be the new offensive coordinator and come in talking shit already and piss the man off. Now you're starting the relationship off on the wrong goddamn foot. He's not talking to Lamar. He's talking to everybody.
Declan.
We're not finna do that.
Put your opinion in the chat on who you think the message was directed to. I believe it was directed to Lamar. I just gave you context on what happened last year. They tried it last year, and that was with a different coaching staff. So it's about respect. Let's keep listening.
Everybody, which guy has not been participating in the voluntary OTAs the last 7 of the 8 years?
Why should he?
I mean, Lamar has it, and I'm sure other people have it as well.
Okay. Joe, what do you think about that, Joe?
Joe, like,
So, because now you're saying everybody is just as important as Lamar. But go ahead, Joe, go ahead, finish up.
Listen, I'm catching up. I'm picking up what y'all putting down.
Joe say, I'm not getting in that.
Man.
He didn't play football.
I mean,
so.
hey, I understand what you mean.
You saying it's the offensive coordinator that's calling Lamar out.
Joe,
you know they talking about Lamar.
What you do is that you talk. You know who he's talking to.
He's talking to
a lot
Lamar.
of times that they would.
All right, so let's get into it, Pete. Let's get into it. All right, we're gonna have our own conversation about this. I personally think he was talking to Lamar. Why? Because I just gave you the backstory. I just told you that last year they tried the same crap. They didn't just try it with Lamar last year, while the Baltimore Ravens did. See, here's the thing about these black quarterbacks, and this is what it goes back to. It's disrespect, right? They try to pull his chain. They try to give him a reason to be difficult, to say he's difficult. It's voluntary OTAs. And they did the same thing. It was fans, though, on Myles Garrett. Myles Garrett was in Tokyo in the last offseason. And people was like, he needs to be over here working out. These players can't enjoy their lives. And I said, it's voluntary OTAs. He don't have to be here. That's why it's called voluntary OTAs. So the same conversation happened about Lamar last year. And they was throwing things around, talking about him not being there and that he should have been there. And I'm like, no, he don't need to be there. So what I picked up on is just like it was trash to Shedeur, he should do this, shouldn't do that, blah, 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 blah. You need to be where your feet are. Stefanski was saying that when Shedeur was filming the commercial, giving away the car, which could have been his off day, but that's what he had to say. It feels like they think they can control these quarterbacks like they on a leash. Like, but okay, I didn't want you to be the quarterback anyway. And since you're the quarterback, you can't live your life. You can't enjoy your money. And you got to come in early because, you know, high expectations. They don't treat him like he's the most important person on the team, but then they want to say he's important enough that we're directing this message towards you. For the offensive coordinator for the Baltimore Ravens to come in with that level of conversation, knowing it came from last year and it's new people this year, that's coming from the Baltimore Ravens, and it's directed at Lamar to control him so he don't enjoy his life when it's voluntary OTAs. We're not talking about mandatory. Lamar shows up for mandatory. That's what mandatory means. So why is he being ostracized for not being at voluntary OTAs? Shannon said, who has missed voluntary OTAs for 7 to 8 years? So you trying to tell me they cheated Lamar out the 2023 AFC Championship because he didn't show up to voluntary OTAs? You trying to tell me they cheated Lamar in 2025 on the Steelers so they don't move forward to get to the AFC Championship because he wasn't at voluntary OTAs? They trying to pull his chain like he a dog on a leash, and we don't want you in this position, so we're going to treat you like a dog on a leash. I said that last year, and if I know anything, I bet $10 that Ocho don't know that. But it's disturbing that they have a whole new regime, as they say, and they come in with the same bull crap. That's exactly what we seeing in Cleveland. Now we're seeing it in Baltimore. Do y'all really think Lamar Jackson should show up to voluntary OTAs? I mean, honestly, to use the line, if you want to win a championship, I mean, if this is about winning a championship and you think he need to be there, then you need to scrap voluntary OTAs. And Lamar can't win a championship by himself. So if he the only one that ain't there, then how the hell is it that he talking to everybody else? They just pulling these dudes' chain. It's like you can't enjoy your money. You can't live your life. You have to live. Treating him like the royal family and the British press was treating Meghan Markle. We don't want you here, so we just gonna kick on you while you're here. That's what it is. That's what we was just talking about. So I want to see what y'all think, because it's the same thing. It's the same thing. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you, Ramon. Thank y'all so much. And I'm glad we enjoyed the last podcast. Appreciate it. It said, Lady T's in the house. How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? Inches away from 7K. Thanks. 30 people or less away from 7,000. Be an early bird, get the worm. Yes, thank you so much. Thank you so much. It said we all know that he is not talking about Aaron Rodgers. Oops, wrong team. LOL. He calling out Lamar. Thank you. Hey, Lisa girl, welcome back. Thank you. Now you see how they treat Lamar? Do you see? And they been treating Lamar like this. I'm like, what the hell did Lamar do? Nothing. He's black. That's the guys. That's what all of this conversation towards him is about. They trying to call this man out in front of the whole team. And you tell me they gonna work to put together a winning season so he could get to the AFC Championship, so he could get to the Super Bowl. They already telling you they don't care for the man. They already was talking about if he gonna retire. They didn't want to give Lamar a guaranteed contract, and he had at least one MVP, I think in 2023. Already asking him about retiring. He's 28. They just gave Mark Andrews, who's 30, all the damn money, so much money that it's not enough money for Isaiah Likely. They brought in Isaiah Likely because Mark Andrews was going missing in big games. So the message to Lamar is, even though Harbaugh and Monken are gone, we still on your AZZ. Now they want him to cut his vacation short to come in voluntarily. That's not what voluntary OTAs are for. That's if you just want to. But he's being coerced. This is what coercion looks like. And it's also intimidation to wrap it up into the Super Bowl. If you want to go to the championship, then you need to come in for voluntary OTAs. Well, we all want to go to the championship, and we've always wanted to go to the championship. So therefore, should have never been voluntary OTAs. This is to control Lamar. Show him he's on a leash. Show him that even though Harbaugh and Monken are gone, we still gonna run you, boy. That's what it is. And they starting off the season by picking on him because they want him gone. That's what people need to understand. Hey, Tamika, how you doing? How you doing? Welcome back. Welcome back. It said words have meaning. Regime. Thank you. A system or plan way of doing things, especially one posed from above. There you go. When they use the word regime, I was like, regime? Why is it a regime? Why is it if you want this, then you have to do this? This is manipulation. The new regime is starting off with Lamar this way. That can't be a good thing. That's not a good sign. It's no different than the Browns constantly talking about a quarterback, constantly letting Lamar and Shedeur and others, but I'm focused on those two, know that we don't value you. We don't want you. We don't value you. And although Stefanski's gone, we still going to talk about something else that proves that we don't want you and value you, Shedeur. Same thing with Lamar. So now he got to give up his vacation because he being coerced and intimidated. If you do this, then. So if he don't come into voluntary OTAs, they're not going to win a championship. It's all on him. They trying to say that's why they never won a championship because he never come to voluntary OTAs. Why is it called voluntary OTAs? This is the kind of stuff that they do. This is exactly the kind of stuff that they do. It's disgusting. It says, since the Bears are leaving Chicago, I heard, we said we're going to get to that conversation as well because the mayor has something to say. It said, Aaron Rodgers gets to come in when the season starts. Really? Yeah. See what I'm saying? And what did they say about Kirk Cousins when he was in Minnesota? He got to take Tuesday off, but let them tell it. The GM got fired because 3 years ago he took paternity leave. This is how they do. This is black people in white spaces. That's what this is. We was just talking about it on the last podcast as it pertains to Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex. Now we back to football, and I related that to what was going on with Shedeur. And here we are. We back to it, and it's the same thing. It's just Lamar at the top of the conversation. It's about respect. And the Baltimore Ravens are starting off with disrespect. Shannon is right. He was talking to Lamar. I don't know why Ocho thinks he wasn't, even if it was performative. His argument is flawed. Why would he come in and disrespect the quarterback that way? Are you talking about the same Lamar Jackson that's been disrespected since the draft? The combine? The same Lamar Jackson that when he got to free agency, 32 teams passed on him, just like they passed on Shedeur. That Lamar. You wondering why the new OC would come in and disrespect the quarterback that the organization disrespects. The organization itself, as much as people praise Baltimore, the owner didn't make Lamar no offer. They asked him where he wanted to be traded. All because he wanted a guarantee. The man that had 2 MVPs. So a 2-time MVP can't get a guaranteed contract. But then they turn around and give Josh Allen $330 million with 60% of it guaranteed. Lamar wanted what the hell Deshaun had, and so did Russell Wilson and Kyler Murray. Why not? If they were better than him, why not? But the answer is, well, can't nobody have that. That's not about talent. Then what the hell is it about? So I don't know if Ocho watches football like for real, because he clearly don't know the backstory that this conversation happened last year under a different regime. And nobody even discussed the word regime and why that was inappropriate in the first place. Insane. It said they need to tell Mark Butterfingers Andrews facts. Because how is it he is 30 and gets a 3-year deal at the age of 30 for $39 million, and he lost the playoffs. But they tell Lamar, essentially, because this is the offensive coordinator that works with the offense, basically trying to say that Lamar needs to show up for voluntary OTAs. That's not right. It's like they refuse to let these guys live their lives. They got to harass them in some way, shape, or form. That's just crazy. It said he should have called or text Lamar. It's about respect. Thank you. That's why the caption of today's show is it's about respect. You coming in talking about how to start off on the right foot with a regime. That's problem number one. And you putting this man on blast so much so that the internet can talk about it, so we know who you were talking to. And it is almost like Lamar's not the most important position on the team. He doesn't deserve a text message. He just like anybody else. Pulling his chain. If Lamar doesn't come to voluntary OTAs, what the hell are you going to do? You can't sue him. I mean, you cheated him last year. You cheated him the year before, so you're going to cheat the whole damn team because he don't come to voluntary OTAs? That's what I'm hearing? That's coercion. That's what coercion looks like. I'm going to coerce you. I'm going to manipulate the situation to get what I want. I want to control Lamar. He had the audacity to want to be a quarterback, so I'm going to control you. That's what this is. And Baltimore, for all the changes they made, still on the same bullshit. I don't know how Baltimore Ravens fans don't have the same conversations as the Browns fans. I often wondered about that. I said, are they not sick of seeing their quarterback get cheated? Do they not see that the quarterback is being cheated? I wondered about that last year. When we watched them, or Derrick Henry, get the ball stripped from him, and they was up 2 touchdowns and lost that game, I was like, ain't no damn way. The Baltimore Ravens fans ought to be ready to set the place on fire, figuratively speaking. But no, then they lost again. And then they lost. Did they lose to the Browns? No, they didn't lose to the Browns this year. They lost to somebody else. And I was like, and I think a young lady was talking about the game. And after that, she stopped posting about the team. And I kind of understood what was happening. But the fans have let it be known that something ain't right. But they don't seem to understand that Lamar is being targeted. I'm like, I don't know how y'all don't see it. Everybody else see it. Maybe sometimes these fans are just too close to the Flames. I don't know. That's just kind of weird. It's that Aaron Rodgers need to sit down somewhere. Right. He don't even want to be. Aaron Rodgers does not even want to be in Pittsburgh. You know what he said out loud? It would be nice to retire in Green Bay. I said, oh, so you're going to move Jordan Love out the way so you could get your way? I'm like, you have a goddamn job. Because based on what Danica Patrick said, we don't need to wait 6 years to get to you. You need to shut up. Because she said he leaves a trail of blood. I mean, I don't even know why he have a job. Sound like he need to be in court. But, they used him to block Shedeur. So I guess, that's what that is. See how the good people get kicked down like Meghan Markle? That's exactly why I told that story. That's exactly why I shared what they were going through. Because it's exactly what Shedeur was going through. And we were talking the royal family in the UK versus NFL football. But it's really Black people in white spaces. Not just the NFL. And that was in another country. So it's not just this country. And that doesn't make it okay. But at least you should know what it is. It said the NFL doesn't value or respect Black quarterbacks. I know that's right. I say Black quarterbacks or Black players. Because how can you go to a few or several Black wide receivers and coerce them into stopping running on their routes when the quarterback is Black? How? What does that conversation sound like? I just wonder. Hey, you don't have to be Superman out here today, but you don't come and say that to them when the quarterback is not Black. And they don't think that's strange? That's coercion. That's all we're seeing is coercion, intimidation, retaliation. It's ridiculous. That's all we're going to see. Because that's the only way they're going to get their way, because they're going to keep doing what? What they've been doing. Drafting Black quarterbacks that they don't respect or value. Lord. Yeah, Aaron Rodgers needs to sit down somewhere. It says, sounds like that voluntary, mandatory overtime I used to. So what you're saying is, you faced that situation in your personal life, Peter. You had a voluntary overtime and it became mandatory. And my neck of the world, we say you have been volunteered or you have been voluntold. That's what we say. You were volunteered or voluntold. I don't get voluntold, but I don't voluntold people stuff what to do. But that's a thing. That's what we say and what I do. So, and when you voluntold, you just gonna have to come on in It said NFL is harassing. Right. That's what all it is. So let me guess. Shedeur got to come in, and he'll probably do it anyway. But Shedeur got to come in for, because he's not a rookie, right? Rookie minicamp is strictly for the people that were drafted. We have had a conversation previously about how long Shedeur is a rookie. I thought he's a veteran now, right? He's not a rookie no more. So when they have voluntary OTAs in rookie minicamp, he's not supposed to show up to rookie minicamp. He shows up supposedly to mandatory camp, but I get the feeling he gonna have to show up for voluntary OTAs. What y'all thinking about that? That's what I think. And if he don't show up for voluntary OTAs, it's already gonna be trash if he do. So it's just they just gonna use that, right? That's what I'm thinking. He should have called to text Lamar, right? It is totally about respect. It said they trying to treat Lamar and Shedeur like Jeff Blake. Wait, what does that mean? What does that mean? I thought Jeff Blake was good. What you mean when you say Jeff Blake? Was he a backup? Was he a backup? What's Jeff Blake's story in the NFL? I know he was in the NFL, but that's all I know. I don't know much after that. I thought he was good. So let me know why you use Jeff Blake name. It said Ocho always speaks from a player perspective. I give him that. He said what he said. So, Mel, you think Ocho is right that the OC was talking to everybody? Why did OC make that statement? Why not the head coach? If he was talking to everybody, why didn't the head coach make the story? I'm just saying. I like Ocho, but not on this one. And he always does come from seemingly. He always try to take the side of whatever the story is. People say, Ocho, do you not have a real opinion? I don't know. But I mean, I like Ocho though. He says, sis, how many players from the Falcons leaving since the Stefanski takeover? I don't know. Hell, how many of them want to leave? The only people that's leaving are free agents and those that can finagle a trade. But you best believe they're gonna get retaliated against if they do. I have no idea. I mean, I have no idea. But the Falcons locker room was trash for the same reasons the Browns locker room was trash. I did a show about it. I talked about, hey, what's going on in Cleveland is going on in Atlanta. That was before Stefanski got there. Anybody was on here when we talked about how a black coach was made the scapegoat, the wide receiver coach, and one of the players spoke up about it and he got kicked off the team? Yep, thing was happening. Blame the black guy and shut up about it. Yep, same thing. And that was the Falcons. So here's the thing. Since they learned last year that they can't dissent, they can't speak up, they can't be unhappy about Stefanski, they probably going to be right there unless their agents can make something happen. And if that happens and they find out, there's probably going to be a problem. Retaliation is next. So that's what I think. It said, I am so damn sick of these fake narratives attached to black QBs. Yep. It said, I was so happy when Prince Harry chose his wife and removed her from that toxic UK. It said they both are living a beautiful and peaceful life with their gorgeous kids and her mother. I totally agree. Tamika, were you on the last podcast? I'm not going to tell you I remember everybody's name that was in the chat. But shout out to y'all. Y'all did good. Y'all showed up. And y'all hit the like button. Thank y'all so much for that. Please hit the like button again because Ramon is correct. We're this close. We're less than 30 away from 7,000. So shout out to what she said, community. I appreciate y'all. Peter said, yes. Double standards and racism. Yes, that's what it is. It said they did that to me on my job with Tammy. With Tommy? They did that to me on my job with Tommy. Oh, you talking about the mandatory voluntary overtime? Is that what you're talking about? What G30? Let me know. Peter said I wouldn't go. Let me tell you why. What the hell you gonna do? You already trying to get rid of me. You already stole my MVP. You already robbed me of the AFC championship. You robbed me of the Steelers game. You probably robbed me of something in 2024. You give everybody credit for helping me when they actually set me up. You sold me up the river. I ain't coming. You ain't gonna sign me no way. See, they came out after Harbaugh was gone and said, oh, Lamar's contract is a priority. So while his contract is a priority, now He got to come in the, you know what? Keep that damn contract. I mean, honestly, I like Lamar, but I want him to not give a damn about coming back to this league. I want him to go, y'all don't want to offer me a contract? Cool. I'm not coming to mandatory and violent. I'm coming to mandatory. You know how people get to a point with their job, they're like, I'm just coming to work. It's called quiet quitting. That's what it is. I would hate for him to even sign 5 more years of his life for this bullshit. It's been long enough. And I said these black quarterbacks have got to say thank you, but no thank you, and ride off into the sunset in this league and go do something else. Start your own. Tell me I'm wrong. If I had Lamar sign a 5-year contract, I'm going to be disgusted. Or 3. He only 28, and they asking him about retiring. But then Andrews gets $39 million at 30. The age of 30s, which means he's gonna be 33 when he finishes. I'm like, you ain't tired? Shit. I'm like, I'm tired for you. I'm tired for you, bro. I'm like, Lord. I mean, it's honestly, ever since I guess they decided they want to talk about renewing his contract, now they want to put him on a chain. Oh, you're gonna have to jump through this hoop to get it. You're gonna have to jump through that hoop to get it. And they still ain't gonna let you win nothing. I mean, maybe, I don't know. I guess they gotta think about it. But it ain't like it's based on pure competition. Do y'all really think Lamar should sign an extension? When is this contract end? Let me see. When does Lamar's contract end? Lamar Jackson contract end. Let's see. It ends in 2027. He had a 5-year contract for $260 million with the Ravens. Ends after the 2027 season. While signed through 2027, his current deal includes, now listen to this, non-manageable salary cap hits of $74.5 million in 26 and 27, leading to expected negotiations for an extension in the 2026 offseason, which is currently the period we're in, right? The period we're currently in is the offseason. It is the year of 2026. There should be some negotiations. I just said a couple of weeks ago, they said his contract is the priority, and now they're dropping these messages about coming in during the voluntary period. So they're supposed to be negotiating in 2026 to create salary cap flexibility. Let me ask this question. And we just talked about this with Pat Mahomes. So Pat Mahomes is being praised for being flexible because they need to restructure his contract again so they can have salary cap space. Why do they give them these contracts if you have to keep moving the money around? Yes, he still gets the $440 million, but when he gets it is the issue. That's what changes. So like Lamar got $74 million a cap hit this year and next year, the last 2 years. Why does he need to be flexible and change anything in his contract? When you made him this contract, did you not understand that there was going to be a salary cap hit? What am I missing here? When they gave Lamar his contract and it was backloaded, in my opinion, with 26 and 27, and they've been dogging him out for the last 2 seasons, and we in 26 now. Now they need to have negotiations about a new contract or negotiations and or about flexibility in that $74 million cap hit for this year and next year. You would think if they wanted to negotiate with him to be flexible about that cap hit, that they would be nice to him, but that's not what we're seeing. Wouldn't you want to be nice to him? Wouldn't you want to be like, hey, how you doing? Well, we want you to have a good vacation. You know, we got some new people in here, and we really want to try to get you to the Super Bowl, Lamar. We really, really value you. So, you know, we think it would be good if you could come lead the Young Bucks for voluntary, you know, OTAs. We know that's your personal time and everything, but we really think you could teach them a thing or two, you know, because we want you to make sure, you know, before you get out of here that you have left some little Lamars, you know, something like that. I'm just saying something like that. Butter him up. But to be put these messages out here, it's not buttering him up. Tell me I'm wrong. And now that you know a little more than you knew before, that it's time for them to negotiate to move around this salary cap, Why wouldn't the hell they be nice to him? And I personally think when they sit down and come up with these contracts, they need to be forward thinking and realize that this probably going to be a salary cap hit. I mean, don't you kind of think you know that already? So why do they have to be flexible? And is everybody asked to be flexible, or is it just the Pat Mahomes and Lamar? Did Kirk Cousins have to be flexible? I think he did. I think he had to restructure too. So, okay, I'll let him have that. I don't know why they do that then. If everybody got to be flexible, I don't know why they backload and stack up these contracts like that, knowing you're going to have to move it around. So if anybody knows, let me know. It said our nephew, 12 legendary Pro Bowler, Shedeur Sanders, is a hard worker. So I believe he will show up for voluntary. Yeah, he going to show up. I'm pretty sure he going to show up. He probably waiting for voluntary OTAs to start. Yeah, am I wrong? No, he loves the game, you know. So he definitely going to be there, Tamika. So I totally agree with you. It said Jeff was a baller and they did him dirty with bad players. He was basically 12 QB coach through high school. Oh, really? I didn't know that. I think I heard his name in the same conversation with Shedeur's, but I didn't know his story. So they set him up. I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. Well, yeah, at least he had a black QB coach that played in the NFL. They probably still talk, I would imagine. And I didn't know that. It seems that Lamar and Shedeur and Michael Vick talk quite a bit, which is good. Which is good. That's wisdom, right? From the quarterback side. See, his dad didn't play quarterback, so he had a different perspective. It said, yeah, me and Tommy on Martin. Because nobody knew what you did, what Tommy did. That's hilarious. That's hilarious. It said, I just hit the like button on your earlier show, but I'm in Dubai. Ooh, on my pre-birthday celebration with my cousin. My birthday is next week. What? Oh, happy birthday. Happy birthday, Dubai. Oh, wow. That's really, really nice. I was watching, I think, was it Dubai? I was watching, they have this man-made sphere-looking thing with a bunch of lights. I mean, they got lights everywhere. I don't even know what it's called. I was just watching this the other night. So it's a beautiful place. Congratulations. So y'all make sure y'all say happy birthday to Tamika. Happy birthday to me. That's nice. How long are you going to be over there? Let us know how long you're going to be over there. Happy birthday, Tamika. It said, is Ocho the one that resembles with eyebrows? I'm not saying that out loud, Ramon. JC said he got, what, 2 more years? You're talking about Lamar's contract? Thank you for that. It said, Lamar's mom is from Pompano. She's his agent, and she will get some straightening on the BS. Yeah, I mean, in the contract, yeah, but they don't seem to be willing to stop harassing this young man. And it's crazy how nobody can just do anything. It's just so weird. Nobody can do anything. But yeah, I heard his mom is his agent. Oh, okay. I returned back to the States on Thursday, but we'll be leaving again to go on a family 5-day cruise, 2/28 to 3/5. My birthday is 3/1. Oh, wow. You just out here living your best life. Okay, well, do that then. Do that then. Okay. Well, have fun. I love cruises. Have fun. Where y'all going? Let us know in the comments. I'll share it. Where y'all going on the cruise? You said 5 days. It says, sis, can you look up Caleb Williams' contract? Yes, I can. Let's see. Caleb Williams' contract. Oh, here we go. He just got drafted last year, right? So he on a rookie deal. Caleb Williams' contract is signed for a 4-year, $39 million fully guaranteed rookie contract with the Chicago Bears as #1 overall pick in the 2024 NFL draft, featuring a $25.5 million signing bonus and a 5th-year team option. The deal, which averages approximately $9.9 million annually, includes base salaries that grow over the term of the agreement. So he has escalating salaries with a 2026 cap hit of roughly $10 million. So basically, they got Caleb for a steal because they just went to the playoffs, pretty far in the playoffs, with a rookie on a rookie deal. I mean, he did win the Heisman and was making a run for it the second time. So, yeah, the fact that you can get all of that out of a rookie quarterback is good, but they actually don't like that. And I don't know if it's because they feel like they're paying the veterans more I don't know what it is other than race. That's all I see it to be. I think you will be happy that you only paying $10 million for somebody and they going to the Super Bowl, but I don't think they look at it like that. So that's what his contract. He on a rookie deal. So his is up the year before Shedeur, and there's a 5th-year option. I think everybody in the 5th round now has a 5th-year option. I think certain select players outside the 1st round have a 5th-year option. Like Carson Schwarzenegger's contract. His contract was fully guaranteed for $11 million for 4 years. Yep. So it's in their best interest to feature him, make money off of him. Now Mason Graham is, because he 1st round, he went fully guaranteed, but that didn't materialize anything. So they're gonna do the same thing this draft, I'm pretty sure. It said Lamar won't have any choice but to sign because no team is going to go behind the Ravens owner and offer Lamar a contract. No good team, at least. It said Lamar making them wait, though, is good on him. Oh, to have that conversation because they're supposed to be negotiating this year. Okay. I agree with you because all 32 teams did not want him, including his own team. But he needs to leave there. Y'all think Lamar should sign with the Ravens? I don't. I think Lamar needs to get the hell on. Clearly don't come to Cleveland. But yes, I do think the owners will collude and contain him and try to force him wherever they feel like they want him to be, whether that's to trap him in Baltimore. But if you are already kicking on him and you just got there, I don't think they want him to be there. And then they already kicking on him, but they need to negotiate with him, which means they're trying to force him into whatever they put in front of him. See, that's what that says to me. If you're not nice to people you need to negotiate with, you're trying to coerce them into what you want the outcome to be. So whatever they want this outcome to be with his $74 million salary cap hit, it sounds like they want to force him into whatever the hell they want. That's disgusting. That's so disrespectful. And they will never do that. And look at all that money they gave to Kirk Cousins, and there was absolutely nothing, and I mean nothing, that warranted that. That was paying for you to go over to Atlanta and let us do what we want to do using you. That's what that was. So we're going to see what comes of Lamar Jackson's negotiation. It said enough of moving the goalposts. Right. It's exhausting, bro. It said that new OC came in already, starting drama by making remarks about Lamar coming to OTAs, which aren't mandatory, and also saying he's going to help Lamar elevate. A 3-time MVP. Yeah, get out of here. You see what I'm saying? And that's what they was talking about. Monken helped Lamar's game. I'm like, Monken helped Lamar stay in the pocket. Lamar helped himself. Just like Shedeur. Shedeur didn't have no help from the Browns. Oh, Stefanski worked with him. Stefanski didn't do a damn thing. Shedeur took the initiative to meet with Stefanski because Stefanski was ignoring Shedeur. So he figured that would at least help me to be seen, but it didn't matter. It didn't change Stefanski's abuse towards Shedeur, did it? Because it's rooted in racism. It's not rooted in I like Dylan better than I like you. No, I don't think they like him either. I've already said that. Let's see where he end up. People suspect that Dylan will end up where? In Atlanta. Let's see if any of the O-linemen, let's see if any of the Browns players somehow make their way. Why not Joel Bitonio? Why not take him to Atlanta? Not that I want him to be Michael Penix Jr. problem, but he already got a problem over there anyway. I'm just asking. Why not that? Why not a change of scenery? Let me know your thoughts. All right. It said Lamar is being smart in his negotiations. Good. I'm happy to hear it. I'm happy to hear it because don't let these people push you around. It said they gave Mark Andrews an extension mid-season when they could have waited, and now they're using the fact that they are strapped for money as a reason Lamar needs to hurry up. First of all, to hell with them because Andrews should have never got that contract. And so basically what you're telling me is they're pitting Isaiah Likely against Lamar because he don't have a contract yet. And they gave all the money to who? Mark Andrews. You see why people get paid sometimes? Oh, I'm going to put all the money over here with him, so I don't give it to him. And then I'm going to make it seem like it's Lamar's fault, and I'm going to pit Lamar against Isaiah Likely when Isaiah Likely was brought in so Lamar could have somebody to throw to. But who they chose to throw to when it was critical? Mark Andrews. And what he do? Drop the ball. And what? He got all the money. Ooh-wee. Lord, I'd have to find me another occupation because I don't know how these guys do it. It must be the money. That, like Coach Prime say, it must be. It must be the money because it's exhausting. I'm like, Jesus. I'm like, Lord have mercy. The shit y'all got to deal with. I don't know. Is it no other way to get this kind of money? Let me know. It said now they are saying they may not be able to keep Lamar's center, the best guy on the O-line. Oh, Lord. Right after it being released that Isaiah Likely, Lamar's best target, will not be re-signed. So essentially, they're doing what the Browns are doing. Got rid of Wyatt Teller, the best person on the O-line, and got rid of Njoku, the second best tight end, even though Isaiah Likely is the best tight end. But you see, it's the same position. You see that? So there's a playbook, right? And Monken just left where? Baltimore. You see, it's the same. They're doing the same thing. They're doing the exact same thing. I knew when Monken made, when the first transaction was Njoku, I shook my head because the tight end, Baltimore, Monken and Mark Andrews. I think we have already seen how this is going to play out. So they saying Shedeur only going to win 6 games. I'm like, I ain't hear nobody say Shedeur was a starter, but what it's supposed to do is make the fans clamor for a quarterback. That's how you devalue Shedeur. Oh, he not that good. They only going to win 6 games. Nobody even said he was a goddamn starter. So why is he on the photo? See how they like to devalue these quarterbacks? That's why I'm like, Lord, it must be the money because, whew, that's the only thing will make me not be so tired. I'm like, God. Instead, remember, Coach CP played QB1 in high school. He did. But I meant from, he has a quarterback's perspective, but I meant from an NFL holding a position, going through the gauntlet. He don't have that perspective because he wasn't a quarterback, and they didn't have no black quarterbacks over there when he was there. I'm thinking, I don't think so. I think outside of Michael Vick, that's it. And hell, I don't think they wanted him, which is crazy when you think about it. So it's nice to see. That's why I like that photo that I have of Shedeur and Michael Vick. I like that photo. But somebody gonna move. What would y'all think if we just woke up one morning and they said Shedeur was traded to Atlanta? What would y'all? I can see it. What would y'all think? What would be your first mindset? First of all, he would be over there behind Michael Penix Jr. That's number one. Number two, he would go back to Stefanski. If they do it, it's because they must want him to quit. I'm thinking that's what it is. That's like a nightmare scenario, is it not? That with Tommy Reese too. Oh Lord, that would traumatize me. I think that's a nightmare scenario. Happy birthday, Tamika. N. Wiley talked about it. It's a setup for Lamar. Who is N. Wiley? Oh, Marcus Wiley. Is this about Marcus Wiley? Okay. So he said it's a setup for him. Can you share with us a little bit on how? Because I don't think I have his podcast on deck. It said we're going to Progreso at Cozumel, Mexico for 8 nights, 7 nights in Dubai. It's 8:22 a.m. time. Oh, okay. So it's morning over there. Okay. Well, that sounds nice. So you're going to Mexico. Okay. Well, you live it up, lady. Happy birthday. I'm just going to post the birthday wishes. It said they sure don't mind paying these non-athletic white tight ends millions a year to catch wide open slant routes. They showed out. They showed out. But they ain't got no money for Isaiah Likely and Njoku gone. What y'all think gonna happen with Njoku? Let's see what happened, I guess. I don't know. And yeah, they don't mind. You facts about that. You facts about that. You welcome, Tamika. Ellie said, or Eli, excuse me, I call you Ellie. Eli. It said, hell yeah, even the Ravens fans want Lamar to be sent to a team that treats him better. But where? They all in on it. You facts about that. You right about that. That's one of the things we have to remember. That it's like I do remember, but then I forget. So you're right. You're right. Because I said that about Shedeur. I trade Shedeur, but then I remember, oh shit, they all in on it. So yep, You're right. You're right. You are so right. But hypothetically, I don't know. I guess it don't even make sense to be hypothetical because 32 teams passed on Lamar. And I've said it myself 1,000 times. Shedeur just need to look at Lamar's scenario and then he gonna see his. And now we're actually closer to that being a reality because the moves that are being made in Baltimore or the moves that are being made in Cleveland, tight end, O-line, not wide receiver, tight end. And Munkin came from Baltimore. And I tell you, that's what's gonna happen. Unfortunately, that's what we're seeing. And what did I say? If Lamar wants to win in Baltimore, this is before they change these people, but it's probably gonna be the same. I say he gonna need to call an audible. Whatever, if the game get close, whatever it is, he gonna need to call an audible. But see, they switched off from the tight end situation to who? Who did they switch to? Derrick Henry. Y'all know who Derrick Henry is represented by? The Jimmy Sexton guy. The one that's at the center of everybody's contracts that's problematic. That agency that y'all kept talking about, CAA or something like that. That's his agent too. So let's see what happens to Njoku, Isaiah Likely, Wyatt Teller. Hell, Lamar. We'll see. Let's see what happened to Dylan. He mighty quiet. I don't hear nobody talking about him. I don't hear nobody talking about him like he's not even over there. And maybe that's why they're not talking about him, because he's not going to be over there. I'm looking for my Emmett Till video. I have so many videos saved between basketball, Ole Miss, Shedeur, not the Browns, but Shedeur. And matter of fact, I got this video. Mike Tomlin popped up at NCC, North Carolina Central. That's the HBCU. He was at a basketball game. I was like, oh, go over there and talk to the football team. Go over there and get friendly with the people, the athletic director, and maybe they'll hire you, come work over there. I would love for Mike Tomlin to coach a HBCU. I would love that. I think that would be great. I'm going to share this with y'all. I have a lot of stuff saved. We can go over that. Anybody want to start shedding some light on what's going on with the player arrested from the Detroit Lions? Does anybody want to shed some light on that? I read it, and we can read it. I will read it, but that story changed from the initial reporting. Here we go. So Mike Tomlin at North Carolina Central University football game, and that's not Mike Tomlin. Is this it? Yep, this is it right here. So this is Mike Tomlin at the game, as reported by HBCU Day. So he's at their basketball game. HBCU basketball games are fun. Talk about high energy. Sometimes the band is there. When Clark plays Atlanta, it's always a good time, always sold out, always standing room only. So yeah, Mike Tomlin is here. And I was just kind of, I don't know what made him go there. I don't know if he has a son, a daughter there. His daughter is in the gymnastics program at Georgia. So I don't know what made him pull up on North Carolina Central, but I hope he get a little chummy with the football team and he could talk to them. So yeah, it said the Eagles, Mike Tomlin pulled up to NCCU. There he is right there. He got on a sweatshirt and everything. And he know people. See? He needs something to do. What y'all think about that? What y'all thinking? I like the idea. I like the idea. I like the idea. All right. While y'all tell me what's going on with the Detroit Lions player, I'm looking for my interview with Mike Tomlin. It says, this is about the Browns. If they can match the 2025 draft success with 10 draft picks in 2026, I'll say they are a year away from being a playoff team. Okay, I saved it. So let's talk about it. I saved it. Let's talk about it. Because I don't know about this. I personally think the Browns were already a playoff team. They actually were a playoff team. They had some willfully negligent people. So that ain't on the team. Let me know what y'all think about that. So this is it right here.
I think Joe Bitonio is headed towards retirement. I would have talks with Wyatt Teller and Ethan Posick about bringing them back the way
So things have already changed, but let's keep listening.
Harold Fannin has played. It made Njoku expendable. Devin Bush has been a solid player. Shelby's older, but he's been a veteran presence for him. We do have to have a conversation about Jack Conklin. He's only played 8 games this year in 2025, and he's never played a full season as a Cleveland Brown. You're going to have to draft one.
He talked about Jack Conklin. I think I looked up his contract. Hold on one second. I swear his contract is massive. Let's see. Conklin contract. He said he only played how many games? It said his contract status has been revised for 2026 free agency. 2025, he earned $10 million. I thought he had a bigger contract than that, but it looks like they made some changes. Let's see if we can find out the older one. Let's see here. So they say as of February 2026, Jack Conklin is effectively entering free agency. Oh, nah, I didn't hear them talk about that. Did y'all hear that? Did y'all just see that? Did y'all hear me what I just said? Remember the Dirt Divers? Remember Jack Conklin and Joel Bitonio? Joel was on the left. Jack Conklin was on the right. He was dirt diving. The next thing you know, they said he was injured. And they took him out when all that criticism came from those videos when they went viral. Then it was supposed to be Wyatt Teller was in, and they said he had a calf injury. So they put in like a third stringer. Anybody that wasn't good or that they can control. Now, we have heard about Joel Bitonio. I haven't heard anything about Jack Conklin. So let me just share what's on the screen, okay? They changed his contract. It said as of February 2026, which is this month, Jack Conklin is effectively entering free agency. While his 2022 extension ran through 2027, he signed a revised contract in March of 2025, which was before the season, before the draft, that removed the final year, making him a free agent in 2026. The remaining years on his current deal, from 26 to 29, are void years used by the Browns to spread out his previous salary cap hits. So when they talked about Joel Bitonio, they talked about the voids. So maybe this was the same thing. We'll look at his contract in a minute. So what do y'all think about that? What do y'all think about the Browns deciding to change Conklin's contract so he's a free agent now? Why they just didn't cut him? Because who asked him to dirt dive on cue? Is that why they didn't cut him? These are valid questions. So they talking about Bitonio. They talking about the old line is all free agents, but nobody had this conversation. Nobody said they changed his contract so he could be a free agent. My question is, why didn't you cut him? If Denzel Ward ain't ended up on a projected cut list conversation with 2 years left, and he didn't do anything wrong, and Njoku got released, Wyatt Teller, who was backing up Conklin, was on the projected cut list for June 1st, but he decided to say goodbye. But they changed his contract so he could be a free agent rather than cut him. So they didn't want to discipline him or hand him any consequences for the dirt diving. That's what I'm hearing. They didn't want to reprimand him for the dirt diving. And why do you think that is? Because they asked him to do it? Or because he and Joel Bitonio decided to do it? Or because Stefanski asked him to do it? Or because the owner asked Stefanski to ask him to do it? These are real questions because nobody talked about this. Now we know why they didn't talk about it, because he's a dirt diver. And just like Bitonio should have been forced out, so should he have been forced out. What do y'all think about that? I'm glad I saved that video. I never had a chance to watch it. It said Lamar always shows up to OTAs when they have a new coach or big change. They OC knew damn well the media was going to take that as he was talking to Lamar, because that's who he was talking to. Yeah, I agree. I agree with you, but that's who he was talking to. It said the story keep changing about Detroit DB. Right, that's what I was saying when I read it. It said, yeah, Geno Smith probably gonna back up Mendoza. Yeah, I think so too, Coach. That's supposed to be a slap in his face. I think that the guy was sent there to sabotage Lamar, because who comes in and start drama with the franchise QB? It said they would never come in talking about a white franchise QB like that. I totally agree. I totally agree. It said Terrion Arnold. It said the detectives linked several suspects arrested for kidnapping and armed robbery to a Largo, Florida home rented by Arnold. So, okay. I'm gonna put this on the screen and I'm gonna wait and see if anybody comment about the current topic, and we're gonna move on to the next topic. Or we could put a pin in Jack Conklin's contract and come back to it later, and we can move right on to the Detroit Lions, because the story has changed. So that's what we'll do. So I'll keep that video and we'll just come back to it. But the latest information is Jack Conklin's contract, the dirt diver on the right side. Antonio was the dirt diver on the left. Conklin was the dirt diver on the right. The Browns quietly revised his contract, making him available to be a free agent this year, instead of just cutting him and reprimanding him for dirt diving. We'll come back to it. All right, so let's move on to the Detroit Lions story. Okay. When I read the story, initially, let me just get to it. Initially, there was a story about a robbery at a house that the player that plays for Lions was renting. Now it has come out that he's not a suspect. He was renting the house. So here it is right here. Let's just get into this. Oh, that's another guy. What's his name? Terrion Arnold. That's it right there. That this little situation was interesting. So something has transpired. Hold on 1 second. Unless they didn't clean it up on the internet already. Let's see what the story changed. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, they said it's been clarified. So let's take a look at this, guys. Okay, as of February 20th, 2026, let me make sure y'all can see my screen. All right. As of February 20th, 2026, Detroit Lions cornerback Terrion Arnold has not been arrested. It said the recent reports from Fox 13 Tampa Bay and NBC Sports have clarified that while several individuals were arrested in Florida for armed robbery and kidnapping, Arnold faces no accusations of wrongdoing. It said key details of the investigation. The incident in February 2026, there were 5 suspects, including Christian Williams, Lindell Hudson, Bokai Hilton, were arrested in connection with a violent and armed robbery, a violent kidnapping and armed robbery in Tampa. I'm just going into the details. It said the connection. The investigators believe the suspects were attempting to recover high-end items, guns, and $100,000 in cash that had been stolen from a home rented by Arnold in Largo, Florida. Okay, let me see if I got this straight. There was a robbery at a house rented by a Detroit Lions player. It was the house he was renting. And the people that robbed the house the football player was renting robbed the house because at the house the football player was renting was high-end items and guns and bags or something like that, or purses or something like that. High-end items, $100,000 and some guns. Why would he have that at his house? Why would he have stolen items at his rental house? Or was it his house and he was renting it to somebody else? Let's get into it. It's interesting. This situation is weird. That's why I kept saying it's something going on here. It said, let me read that one more time. Investigators believe the suspects were attempting to recover high-end items, guns, and $100,000 in cash that had been stolen from a home rented by Arnold. Okay, I'm confused. So he rented a house and they were trying to rob it. to get back some other stuff. Help me. Help. Misidentified relationships. During a court hearing, a detective initially suggested that Hudson was a security guard for Arnold and that Williams was his cousin. However, Arnold's representatives officially clarified to media outlets that Hudson is not his security guard and Williams is not his cousin. How can we get so much information wrong? It said the legal status. Authorities have confirmed that Arnold himself is not a suspect and has not been charged with any crime. Okay. Let's talk about this because I don't know. This is what I meant by it's something going on here. He's not a suspect, and the people that were identified as his bodyguard and cousin are not indeed his. So he's not a suspect. That's not his cousin. That's not his bodyguard. But the people that we all named came over to a rental house that he was renting to take some stuff that was stolen from somewhere else, or just to recover. How it said to recover, or is that wrong? High-end items and a violent kidnapping and 100,000 and a gun. There's something ain't right here. Something ain't right here. Something ain't right. Let me see what y'all say. Something not right about this story. It said, I think the guy was sent there to sabotage Lamar. Oh, okay. That's that one. It says story keep changing about the Detroit DB. Right. Because I'm confused. I'm like, what happened here? So I don't know. Y'all help me make some sense of this damn story with the Detroit Lions football player in a house in Florida that he's not a suspect. He's not his cousin. Is not his bodyguard. But the place was robbed. There was a violent kidnapping, and the people that went to rob it went to recover 100,000 in cash, some guns, and some high-end items. The word recover is the problematic part. So I don't know. But, y'all gonna have to tell me because I don't know. I don't know about I don't know, guys. The rivalry with the dude from Detroit, it's not, the situation is not, it's too much different. It's not adding up. All right, it's not adding up. So I'll come back to it when y'all care about it because I don't know if y'all really care about it like that. So back to Lamar. Let's see here. Back to Lamar. It said Lamar always shows up to OTAs when they have a new coach. No, Lamar always does a good job. But yeah, I think the offensive coordinator was being messy. Absolutely. It said if Lamar doesn't show up for OTAs, he will be ostracized from the first overthrow or interception, any excuse. Right. They're going to use it against him. It said Lamar is good in Baltimore. Coach, what you mean Lamar is good in Baltimore? Coach, so you just choosing to be blind? Like, are you choosing to willfully be blind to these situations with these black quarterbacks? It said WTF. It said this doesn't make sense. You must be talking about the situation with Detroit because it's a mind bender. I'm like, yeah, I don't know about this. So the situation with the dude in Detroit, we're going to have to let that be because it don't make no damn sense. It really doesn't. And Lamar is not okay, coach, but we can get back to him at a later date. Anyway, I think that's going to be it for us tonight. The topic of conversation was, it's about respect. And we clearly can see that Lamar seemingly is being targeted again, and he does have to sit down and negotiate with these people. So it's going to be a little sticky. Of course, we'll be keeping our eye on Lamar. It said no matter how many times you read it. Yeah, it don't matter. It definitely don't matter at all because I tried. I tried. So we'll always be checking in on Lamar. Let's see. Ramon said, why would the person have 100,000 in his house and not locked up in a fireproof safe or gun? A fireproof safe or guns. I think my problem with that story in Detroit is I think this problem is it started out and it happened one way and the story was told, and then it's not his cousin, it's not his security guard. So whoever these people are no longer his people. It's not his house. He was renting it, and it was a violent kidnapping to get back some stuff that don't sound like he should have ever had. So unless he out here, like the caption says, moonlighting, this is why I said is the Detroit Lions player moonlighting. Because how do you have this stuff? Unless somebody else committed the crime and you let them come to your house. But that's the big mistake. And how is it that 5 stick-up people show up at your house, execute a violent kidnapping to recover some things that you should not have in the first place? Yes, you can have 5 high-end items. If you want to keep 100,000 in your safe, that's fine, but that's where it should have been. And while guns aren't illegal, guns plural is questionable. So it's something not right here. That's it. That's why so much has been clarified. That's why so much has been walked back, because it's a problem. And if that story goes down without all the clarification, without all of the, this not my cousin, this not my security guard, he probably could lose his job. Don't y'all think? This is the NFL. He could probably lose his job. That's what I'm saying. So, yeah. So I don't know, Ramon. I'm telling you, that story ain't right. So whoever said that, Eli said, no matter how many times you read that story, it ain't right. It's not. It's just not. Claire said, what happened to the 4th criminal? What happened? What happened to the 4th criminal was the daughter from the robbery of Shedeur's house. Huh? Was the daughter, the 4th criminal was the daughter from the robbery of Shedeur. Oh, what happened to the 4th criminal of Shedeur's house? They got caught. The 4th criminal in the robbery at Shedeur's house was actually already apprehended. If that's what you're asking. They caught him in the area where he lived, Decatur, Georgia, where they all lived, apparently. All of them lived there. All of them were apprehended in the same town where they lived, Decatur, Georgia. I think that's who you're talking about. So he in jail. All 4 of them are apparently in jail. So that's on that. That's that on that. But this one right here is a little special. So I don't know how they got to this situation. So I guess we're gonna get out of here, guys. It's Friday night. Go live your life. It's midnight. We're gonna always check on Lamar. So we'll definitely follow up to see. Obviously, we gotta wait till we get to OTAs. But what's coming up for Lamar is some type of negotiations with the salary cap issue. Let's see what happens with that. And then Shedeur, I know he's going to show up to OTAs. He probably, like I said, ready for OTAs now. What we're looking for the Cleveland Browns is, let me go back to that video. Hold on 1 second. We're looking for the Browns to continue making transactions. This whole thing with Jack Conklin was a surprise. Let me see if I can get back to that. Okay, let's go back to that. Let's go back to that. Let's see. Okay, this is it right here. I found this to be very interesting.
Why would you want to commit? Would have talks with Wyatt. I think Joe Bitonio's headed towards retirement. I would have talks with Wyatt Teller and Ethan Posick about bringing them back. The way Harold Fannin has played, it made Njoku expendable. Devin Bush has been a solid player. Shelby's older, but he's been a veteran presence for him. Do have to have a conversation about Jack Conklin. He's only played 8 games this year in 2025, and he's never played a full season as a Cleveland Brown. You're going to have to draft wide receiver 1. Why would you want to commit north of $20 million?
Is there a quarterback to be had at pick 4?
I don't know that there will be as it currently stands. Are we going to be able to protect this guy? Are we going to be able to surround him with players? And what is that going to look like? If they can match 2025 success with the 10 picks of 2026, I'll say they are a year away from being a playoff team.
All right. So that's what we were talking about. Okay. So here's what he was saying. He's saying if they use 10 picks that they have in this draft, 26, since Andrew Berry did such a good job last year, if they can do such a good job again this year, they're a year away from a playoff team. But see, I disagree with that, right? The Browns did not make it to the playoffs because they lack talent. People won't be honest that the Browns had players, including Jack Conklin, who behaved negligently. Now, you did hear him say when they talked about getting another quarterback, which, again, don't know why they had a conversation. It's the same old story. Can we protect this guy? So what that means is you have 10 picks in the draft and you didn't get an O lineman last year. Are you going to get O lineman this year? Now, Wyatt Teller is pushed out. Jack Conklin's contract, he wasn't pushed out. He was taken care of, but he's going to be gone. That's 2. They seem to be holding on to Joel Bitonio. Let's look at his contract right fast, because this dude in the dude in Detroit ain't making no sense. I asked the right question: is he somewhere moonlighting? Because that's kind of what it's looking like, and people came back to get their stuff. Let me look at Joel Bitonio's contract. So they were working with his contract. He should have retired already. And they put it out there that he retired, but I had a feeling when I searched it, that wasn't the case. So I'm glad I didn't post that. Here's his contract right here. So it seems like Jack Conklin got taken care of, because you heard that guy say he had never played a full season. As of February 2026, the Cleveland Browns guard, Joel Bitonio, is considering retirement. It said, let me put this on the screen. Considering retirement, but has pushed his contract void date to March 11th. So the void date was February 2026. Now it's moved to March 11th, which gives them time to figure some things out. His previous 3-year, $48 million extension was set to void, but the team is managing a potential $23.5 million cap charge while he decides on returning for 2026. Let's look at this. Any thoughts so far on what I read? It's that contract situation. The 34-year-old contract was set to void in 2026, but the date was extended to March of 2026 instead of February to give him more time to decide on retirement. So he was going to retire, but they changed the void date. They accommodated him with a change in the void date to give him more time, which tells me they didn't want to retire. It said in 2026 cap hit, if the contract voids, it carries a $23 million, $400 million cap hit, says over the cap. That's what it says. It said previous deal was 3 years, $48 million extension signed in 21. That was the year before Deshaun arrived. That made him one of the league's highest paid guards at the time. And they starting to pay them big time now. So $50 million is nothing now. They getting $100 million. It said outlook. He's expected to either retire, restructure, or sign a new deal by March 11th. Talking about he's been a cornerstone of the Browns' offensive line. Yeah, see, that's the problem right there. He wasn't held accountable for dirt diving. If he was, they can't say he's the cornerstone of the line. So they're giving this guy time to think while they come up with a plan to secure him. Otherwise, what are you giving him time to think about? And I don't think it's fair that this guy isn't held accountable. But Conklin got away scot-free too, right? And Wyatt Teller was on the cut list. So the cut list was to punish Wyatt Teller, to threaten Denzel Ward, and somehow the dirt divers have managed to stay off of it. And Conklin sound like he gonna be somewhere else. He a free agent. He'll be somewhere. I'm sure they'll find somewhere to put him. And then there's Joel Bitonio. There you go. So let me see what y'all saying about this. That's just sad. Why would the person have 100,000? That's a valid question. That's actually a valid question. Sorry, late to the party. It's okay. It's all right, Carly. I've been live, I think, 3 times today. It's okay. It said, I meant to say, daughter. I knew he got caught. I was just wondering if something came up. Oh, okay. Okay. Not to my knowledge. I mean, he just locked up with the rest of them, if that's what you mean. It said, you all have a good night. I'm going to eat my breakfast. Okay, you have a good day, Tamika. Go enjoy your vacation. We'll see you later. Conklin and Teller both should have been fired. You think Wyatt Teller should have been fired, or do you mean Bitonio? Good night, Nisi. Have a good night. Good night. It said, remember, make sure your good weekend never ends. Facts. Said, I meant to say Conklin and Bitonio should have been fired. Yes, that's facts. But it seems like they're taking care of them. So what we're talking about, we'll just pick up this story again when we are reconvene, maybe tomorrow night or Monday during the week or whatever. Because I it's very good that you have somebody from the Brown side of things who kind of have some of the same thoughts. You know, Conklin wasn't good. I don't think Batonio should come back. I do think if they make use of their draft picks, they could be a playoff team. But should we really overlook the fact that the Browns don't want to win? When people are ready to have that real conversation, then you could say they're a year away from a playoff team. They were a playoff team last year, and Kevin Stefanski made sure that they got out of the hunt and rather instead of staying in the hunt, and nobody in the Browns media talked about it. So they didn't want to go. So it's not that do they have the talent. The Browns have had the talent before and let Deshaun Kaiser go 0-16 on a stacked, talented team. So it's time to ask the real questions. Do the Browns want to win this year? Do they want to go to the playoffs with Shedeur as the quarterback or Deshaun as the quarterback or anybody that's black as the quarterback? That's the real question. So that's it. All right. So we're going to get out of here. Hey, Bridget. We just not wrapping up. Had some good conversation tonight. Started off talking about Lamar and moved into Batonio and the Browns. And then we touched on the Detroit Lions, the player who was I don't know that situation. Something happened with the Detroit Lions player. Turns out he's not the suspect. And the story has been revised, and it doesn't make any sense. We read it out loud and tried to analyze it, but it's a whole lot of changes happening. Something's happening with that. So we're going to have to see if something else happens with that because the guy's not a suspect. Supposedly it was his house that got robbed and he was renting. So it's not anything close to what happened to Shedeur. I don't know if maybe that's what people were thinking, but it doesn't seem to be the case. So we're going to get ourselves out of here. We'll be back tomorrow, guys. We'll be back to good. Maybe I can find my Emmitt Smith video by then and we can address that. Because shout out to Emmitt Smith for standing up for Shedeur. So we got fans standing up for Shedeur. Few players stood up for Shedeur and stuck their neck out and got cut off. And now, we have people reaffirming that we're good with Shedeur being the quarterback. So we'll just be back tomorrow and we'll see what happens. Enjoy your weekend. Have a good night. Thanks for watching What She Said Sports.